Okay, the next person will be Mair.
Thank you, Your Worship. My name is Rafe, Mair, and I can understand you don't know who I am because until now I didn't know who you were.
I have heard a lot about you. Welcome to Mission.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen and members of council, Your Worship, I'm not here to talk about subdivision of land. I don't come from Lions Bay to presume to tell people in Mission how they should build their houses or where, etc. My concern is entirely with the environment. I represent Save Our Rivers Society, and I urge everyone here to look at our website, www.saveourrivers.ca, and check the website and the Power Play documentaries that my colleague Damien Gillis has made, and he'll be talking to you in just a moment. I'd like to start out first, if I may, sir, with a very short story. When I was a young boy, my friend Dennis and I used to go down to the Muspin Indian Reserve. And we used to fish a little creek called Tin Can Creek, hardly wider than the table you're sitting at. One day, when we were fishing for these teeny little cutthroat with a worm and a hook, a young native lad came along with a gaff. And he crawled on his hands and knees and suddenly scooped underneath the bank and pulled out a coho that was about that big. And we couldn't believe our eyes, actually a little scared for a moment. And he went upstream, did the same thing, got two of them. Actually, when I got home, my old man thought I was lying, was going to thrash me. But what I learned is that coho spawn in the damnedest places. Not very many to many rivers, but such that you can't afford to ever give up any stream that has any fish values. Because with the death of 1,000 cuts, that's why we're losing our coho. Now, I have the greatest respect for the men and women who work for the Environment Ministry and for Department of Fishes and Oceans. The problem is they have no power. They can recommend, but they can't stop. With the environmental assessment process, the top of the house, the director, is an appointment of the Premier. But I'd like to refer to a gentleman I know you've heard about, we'll hear about more, Marvin Rosenau. Now this man has a Bachelor of Science, Honors, and a Master of Science from the University of British Columbia in Zoology, and his doctorate from the Department of Biological Sciences of the University of Waikato in Hamilton, New Zealand. And here's what he has to say, or had to say, about Silvermere.
Can I, Mr. Mayor, Silvermere is not the plan we're discussing, it's Silverdale. So I hope that you're referring to the Silverdale.
He is looking, sir, with the greatest respect at the overall project. And I'll proceed this way. He says, from California to southern British Columbia, it is the only ecosystem of its type in an urban area because of the large run of salmon. This he reported in 2003 and said the scope of this project is considerably out of line with the environmental and ecological values associated with this particular landscape and the extensive amount of damage it will cause. This project, he says, constitutes one of the most environmentally damaging development projects I've ever had the occasion to review. Which takes me straight into politics. After he said that, it wasn't long before he was out of his job and into a university because he'd said things the government didn't want to hear.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to allow, this is not a political rally, it's a public hearing. Let me hear the gentleman commenting. I really know I'm not going to allow the clapping and cheering.
I'll try not to give them any further cause to do so.
I would like to be very, very stern about that.
Well, sir, I hope that you're taking your time off my time.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't only come with a complaint about the politics of this, I come with a suggestion. And I say this: why should the environment not be treated precisely the same way agricultural land is in our community? Why shouldn't we have an independent environment director appointed not by the government, but by the legislature, as the Auditor General is, and give him or her the power to enforce tough rules? But I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this leads into a bigger issue. Inescapably, Your Worship. It raises this question: what sort of a province do we want to have? We have a government that doesn't give a damn about fish farms and tels fibs alone. They deny the impact of lice on Fraser sockeye. They are approving 500 to 600 private river schemes and strangling BC Hydro as they do. They're proposing a South Fraser perimeter road in Delta, which is going to impact upon Burns Bog and a great number of nature conservancies. They don't even care about the health of people, as witness the transmission lines in Tsawwassen. So I ask you this: do we want to have a province where the environment is sacrificed to developers, where we have private power all over the province, and our public power system, the envy of the world, out the window because of it? Do we want to see the money that Hydro makes go not into the coffers of the province of British Columbia, but into shareholders' pockets with General Electric and Leadcore? This is the decision we have to make, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a big part of it. What you're talking about tonight is an enormous part of it. And we must all get together, all around this province, on this environmental issue. Even though the one we have here isn't the same as somewhere else or the same as some other place. We must all have those problems. We must all take them to our heart and must take them into the ballot box. And I leave you with this thought. Given what I've just said, if the government won't change, we'll have to change the government.
Right on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's finally to meet you in person.